Okay, now it's recording. Thank you so much, Ra. I appreciate your support and help through this. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today is winning in a challenging market. And it is no surprise that this market is cuckoo. We all know that it's tough out there for everybody. Lenders, real estate agents, appraisers, even, I mean, everybody. It is slow right now. So what do we do in that time? We're used to these past 3 years of it being relatively easy to get buyers, rates at 3.5%, a lot more people can qualify. So our phones are ringing a lot more, right? So that's kind of stopped, right? So rates in, 6.875, 7.5, even inching to 8 this past couple of weeks. It was pretty rough. That's going to put a damper on people's thoughts that maybe buying a house right now is something I should do. So they're going to wait till rates go down. We do hear that. Mostly that's what I'm hearing. So how do we overcome that? And what do we do to still be successful, still meet our goals and serve our communities? So I'm going to go over a few things today that I think that we can do partnering together to help grow our business, even in a challenging market. The key is this: don't think that it's a challenging market. If you get up every morning and it's all doom and gloom in your mind and you stay kind of depressed a bit because you know it's going to be a lot harder, then you're just going to stay down, right? You've got to get up in the morning and you've got to go at it just like rates are at 3% and your phone hasn't stopped ringing. And if someone can, if you get to where you can't hear me or see me, please speak up if you don't mind, because I'm not going to be able to read the chat and do all this. I usually have Mike doing that. So anyway, okay, back to it. So what's it going to take to win in this market? We're going to have to grind. We're going to have to get up every single day, weekends included. We're going to have to stay positive. The more you talk positively about the market, the more your clients and potential clients are going to have more trust in you. And you've got to come at them with facts, right? This is why it makes sense to do this now. So I'm going to help give you some tools. At the end, we'll do the Q&A, like I said. So keep those questions, put those in the chat box. All right, let's get started. Okay. There's all my contact information. I know it'll also be in the chat later. So what we're going to cover today is I'm going to go over some of the diverse loan products that I have here at loanDepot. I'm going to give you 4 strategies to help grow your business, even in this market. And I'm going to talk about our processes that we have here that are a lot more efficient than what I've experienced at other places I've worked, and how I think that that's going to set us both up for success. So we're just going to jump right in. So, if you guys have been on any of my calls before, since I joined loanDepot, then you know some of this already, but I'm going to tell it to you again, because there's a lot that we offered here. Just about any residential mortgage loan that's out there, if I don't have it, I can probably get it. But for the most part, I've got it. So, we've got the standard stuff that everybody has, the Fannie, the Freddie. Well, not everybody sells to Freddie. But what's nice about that is if Fannie Mae won't take a loan, we can try Freddie Mac is a little bit more lenient to try to avoid going FHA if we don't have to. So when I have a loan and there's some challenges, I'm going to run it conventional with Fannie and Freddie first, and then I'm going to take it FHA if conventional won't take it. So not all lenders sell to Freddie Mac, so keep that in mind. We can do, of course, cash out refinances, rate and term refis. We've got the standard conforming and non-conforming loans, state bond programs, down payment assistance, mortgage credit certificates, all sorts of stuff to help you get more clients and help them bridge the gap of affordability, especially when it comes to down payment and closing costs. Got FHA, VA, and USDA. For you guys out there more in rural areas, USDA is a fantastic 100% financing loan. If you want to market to those areas, maybe you're in more urban areas, but you're close to the boondocks, as we would say in the South, then let's look into advertising USDA. The only other loan program out there that's 100% financing is the VA loan. Of course, you've got to be a veteran or active military to qualify for that. So USDA is a really nice alternative. We have condo, non-warrantable condos, and co-op financing. Finally, in California, I've never been able to do co-op financing. until I came to Loan Depot, and I've already got one that's put their application in that we're working on right now. So I'm super excited to be able to offer that. Construction to perm, that's, something that I think that we should look into, but also renovation loans. You guys probably, some of you on my renovation call a few weeks ago. I am now renovation certified, so I can do VA, FHA, and conforming and non-conforming renovation at time of purchase and refinance. We do foreign nationals and no social security number. That's something I've also not been able to do since I've been in California. I'm excited about that. And I do have someone right now who's applying with no social security number. So we're going to take them through that process and see how it goes. Reverse mortgages are great. Maybe you didn't know this. I know I didn't know this until I came to Loan Depot because I've not been able to do reverse mortgages before. But you can also do a reverse mortgage for a purchase. That might be something that you want to look into depending on the age of your client. They could potentially do it's called a HECM for purchase, basically a reverse mortgage for purchase, and then not have mortgage payments. It's fantastic, especially for, the people that are at that age that they can qualify for it at 62 and not have mortgage payments. If they lost money in investments or they're having a hard time with retirement, being able to sustain themselves through retirement, they can still have a home without the mortgage payment with that. So it's really awesome. Interest only, I've got an interest only broker that goes up to 10 million interest only. Not that we really see much of that here, but hey, at least we have it. Bank statement programs. And of course, that's going to be for mostly self-employed borrowers who can't qualify based on their tax returns. So we take their bank statements over a specific amount of time and we use those deposits as income. And we've got some great real estate investor programs. As you'll see on the right here, my ability to broker out, if it's something I can't do in-house, then I do have the ability to broker out. I've got 10% down for non-prime borrowers up to 4 million. I've got fix and flip lending. That's going to be for investment, 10% down. I can do cash out up to 1 million. Actually, there is one broker who doesn't have a limit on cash out, even for investment properties, even 1 to 4 unit properties and non-warrantable condos. You're not going to find many lenders out there that will do cash out in those situations. And those are just a few of the situations for the cash out. There are several other really cool features with that program. I can do 80-10-10 up to 5 million. Now, we know where prime is sitting today. Home equity lines of credit, people are taking them out still, but the rates are really high. Of course, anticipating that they'll come down hopefully within the next year and a half to maybe 2 years. So that is not the most popular, but if someone wants to go ahead and open a home equity line of credit at the time of purchase, that's always beneficial because their home equity line of credit is considered purchase money. So when they go to refinance here in the next year and a half to 2 years, when rates come down, they're going to be able to refinance the first and the second as a standard rate and term refinance and not a cash out refinance, which carries a higher interest rate. So if you take a home equity out after you purchase a property, then you've had draws on it within 12 months. And when you refinance, the lender will say that is a cash out refinance. And now you have an interest rate, maybe an 1/8 to 1/4 higher. So this is thinking in the future about the benefit to your client to open up one now. So I can do that up to 5 million. I can go down to 600 on a FICO for conforming loans. And I've got jumbo, non-prime, FICO at 575. So why do I tell you guys all this? And again, this is just a very small snippet of what I can do, is because we are not in a market any longer where everything is prime borrowers, right? Not everybody has 20% down and they've got 800 FICO with 18 months reserves. There are millions of people out there in our communities that can afford to buy a home. Now, we're not putting people in these loans and then, putting them in a potentially bad situation financially. I mean, we're still going to be responsible. These are non-QM loans though, so they do carry a level of risk and typically a higher interest rate, but there's still some qualifications that the borrower has to meet. So what we're doing with all of this is we're opening up the pool for you guys to have more opportunities to close more loans and to help people become homeowners that otherwise wouldn't be able to qualify at your traditional, big banks and credit unions. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the 4 strategies that I think we can incorporate together to help grow our business. Strategy number 1, and I had this call a few weeks ago, and I told you guys I would make sure I got my certification. And like I said earlier, I do have my renovation certification now, and I'm super excited about it. I think that there are so many opportunities for you as real estate agents, listing agents especially, to go out and get more business utilizing the renovation loan that I can offer. So here's a strategy. Pull expired listings for as-is properties. So you guys can go through your community that you want to serve, your areas that you farm, pull the expired listings for properties that didn't close for whatever reason. It doesn't have to be as-is properties, but I just thought that was kind of a unique take on it. So what you'll do is pull as expired listings. So these are people that wanted to sell at one point and couldn't for whatever reason. Contact your soon-to-be seller, provide them with a CMA. And if you're new, a CMA is a comparative market analysis that you guys can run, and it's automated. Really, I don't think you have to sit and really do a lot of math on it or anything like that. So you depend on the data that will give you the number or a relatively close range of numbers that you can expect your seller to get as a purchase price. You seasoned agents probably already know all that. You can say, hey, property condition, if that was the case, if it was as is, and typically they're waiting on cash doesn't come, the listing's expired, property condition is so bad that it can't, people can't get traditional financing. You can say, hey, let me list your property, and property condition will not be a problem for you any longer by listing with me. Let them know you already have a certified renovation lender for this particular property. Now, is it property specific? Not really, not address specific, but property condition specific, yes. So if this property currently doesn't qualify for financing, and I'm happy to take a look at it before you make that call. If it's an expired listing, then you can bet that I can still probably look at some of the property details and pictures and give you kind of a rough idea of what I think. If disclosures are available and there happens to be an inspection report and a property that you want to try to list, send that to me and I'll let you know, hey, this could be a standard conforming renovation loan, or no, this is going to have to be, limited or even, more. Happy to do that for you guys. So let them know that you already have a lender lined up, that you can co-market with the lender. I have yard signs that I had custom made, and this is just one of them, but there's going to be some more that are coming out. They're going through legal right now to make sure this is all cool, that we market it like this. And it is, but it's got to go through the process. So you'll see my pic right here to the right, this picture, that's actually a yard sign. See if you qualify for this home. Now, what's important about that? Well, it's sitting right beside your sign. We can also co-brand on this if you want, but either way, what's important about that? You're getting drive-by people that are calling, knowing already that financing, oh, wait, this property can be financed. I think I showed you guys a picture of that burned down house that Loan Depot financed. It wasn't me, of course, but another loan officer financed a burned down house. As long as it's got the foundation and 2 walls, then we can completely renovate that house with a renovation loan. So what that does with having a yard sign that promotes that is you get your drive-by people. They're thinking, wow, there's no way that I can get a loan on this house. That's too bad. We have to wait, let an investor buy it, put some money into it, and then I have to buy it from the investor for a premium. So I think that this is great. It'll get your phone ringing, you go to my phone ringing. And if this is not the right home for them, then that's okay. You've got now a buyer that's looking, or maybe they didn't think that they could. And now they have at least some hope. Single property websites. This is really cool. So, and I can prepare this for you ahead of time. So you can, if you can get as far as a listing appointment with the seller, then let me make this for you, and you can incorporate it into your listing appointment to show them all of the cool things you can do for free. This does not cost anything. So I'm going to show you an example. Hopefully this will work. Okay. So this is a property that I just looked up this morning. It's just been listed
It's not
here.
showing, Jody.
Oh, it's not? Oh,
No,
your screen sharing.
I think you're screen sharing only the presentation, not the entire screen.
Huh. Okay, let me see. Wonder how to do that then. Let me do new share. Oh, no. I think it's here. Okay. Let's see. Can you see this now? Can you see a property, realtor.com pulled up?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Yes,
So
we
this
can.
is, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay, cool. So this is a property that popped up in my neighborhood here in Oakland. And I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. So I developed a single property website for this that I can do for you. So I look at this picture and I'm thinking, okay, yeah, this definitely needs some updates, right? This is circa 1990-ish, probably renovations. It's definitely not a dream home looking kitchen for someone that, you know, can come in and potentially do some rehab. So this is a perfect property for a renovation loan. Now let me show you the single property website that I created. Here it is. Okay. So we've got 2621 Monticello Avenue in Oakland. Renovation financing available. What does that do? Again, opens up the pool to more buyers. So we're not waiting for investors to come in, do the renovation, then charge us, you know, a couple of $100,000 more for their profit. It helps bridge the gap of affordability, even renovating a property, because you're buying it, it's going to be a lower market price, right? Because it needs work. So you're not buying it at renovated value. You're buying it as is value, but you're putting the work in, and then the equity will be there. Not necessarily dollar to dollar, but we all know when you renovate a home, you are going to, you know, increase the value. So renovation financing available. Oakland, make this your dream home. And here we go. We can look at the pictures, the contact at the bottom. If we co-brand this together and someone sees this, we can advertise these sites on all social media platforms. I can send you a link and you can post it on your Facebook, tag me. I'll post it on my Facebook and tag you. When the interested potential client for you puts their contact information in here, it immediately comes to you and to me. So we're now building a book of business. Okay, so I think that's super cool. You guys can use that in your listing presentations. So now I'm going to go back to, if I can figure it out here. Let's see, I'm just going to stop sharing and then I'm going to do a new share. Here we go. All right. Okay. So single property website, super cool. Closing time frame for renovation financing is the same. These are all things that you're going to be telling this potential seller, right? All of this. I'm not just telling you guys so you know, although you should know, but these are things that you can give the seller as reasons to list with you. Hey, we can do a renovation loan on this and it's not going to take any more time to close. The renovation is done after closing. You're still going to close just like you would with normal financing or even an all cash deal. Opens up the buyer pool and potentially a higher price for the seller, right? You're not waiting for an investor to come in with all cash, which typically carries a lower purchase price. Feasibility studies for free. We have a company that we work with that will provide us free feasibility studies to the buyer when needed or wanted. You guys know there's so many rehab and fixer-upper shows out there. Love it or list it. Property Brothers, all of that. There is a huge interest in renovation for shows that people have out there. And a lot of the people are renters, right? They're watching these homes be renovated like, oh, I wish I could do that. That's so cool. Well, this is a great way that they can, and they can get into the market here in the Bay Area or in your community down south. I know a lot of you are down there. This is a way for them to be able to get into property ownership with not the premium, you know, full price tag on there. And it gives them the ability to make that home what they want it to be. So renovation loans, full expired listings. Strategy number 2, market down payment assistance. we all also know that there is a huge gap of affordability right now in the whole country, especially here where we live. How can we help bridge that? Down payment assistance, bonds, grants, mortgage credit certificates that can help someone qualify for with their debt to income ratio. Super cool stuff that we can do now. 34% of all home buyers in 2022 or first time home buyers, and that was up 31% from 2021. Remember 2020 and 2021, we had super low interest rates. In 2022, when rates were creeping up, still had more first time home buyers getting into the market. So again, stay positive. The largest group of that ages 23 to 41. Average down payment, 7%. But most people I still get people saying, oh, I don't have 20%, so I have to wait. We can do 1% down. Okay, so that's conforming, of course, 1,089,300 in high cost areas right now. That's fantastic. Someone can get into a home for 1% down, and we can help with down payment assistance, closing cost grants, things like that. We've got over 800 programs. This is just a screenshot of what the affordable housing portal looks like for me. When I go in, I pick the state, and then I see all of what's available in that state. Then I plug in the specific details for your client, and I will find out through all of those searches which down payment assistance they qualify for. And there is a lot out there. Let's do some down payment seminars. I've got one scheduled right now with one of you guys for November. We're going to do one on a Wednesday, and then again the next Wednesday we're going to do one is the intro to homeownership, and then we'll do another one that is about affordable housing, down payment assistance. You know, let's make some flyers together and post them at your coffee shops, libraries. Let's mail them out, whatever you want to do. But we got to let people know that this is out there. I think I told you guys on my last DPA presentation that Cal Hapa alone gets dozens of calls a day with potential buyers asking about down payment assistance. So you can't say that there's no buyers out there. They're out there. We have to find them and then educate them and show them what is possible, no matter what interest rates are doing right now. If you haven't heard of FHA's Good Neighbor Next Door program, it is a $100 down FHA loan for first responders, police officers, firemen, teachers, nurses. These properties are HUD-owned properties, so that means that they were previously an FHA mortgaged home that went into foreclosure, and now it's properties owned by HUD. So in order to get that property sold and to build up communities, they're offering $100 down for Good Neighbor Next Door. If you've got maybe a family member that's in law enforcement or teachers or in healthcare, you should talk with them about this. And if you want more information about it, give me a call and I can kind of walk you through how to find those properties. There's not a super ton of them right now, but at least educate yourself with it. You never know that could be the difference maker for someone. Maybe there's only a few out there, but if you find one for somebody, even if you just do it one time, I think that's a huge win. Strategy number 3, temporary buy downs. Okay, so temporary buy downs are basically at closing, we will have some funds put aside, a subsidy that will help bridge the gap from the original interest rate to the lower interest rate, giving the borrower up to 2 years of a lower payment. How does it work? Let's look to the right here, an example. This is a 30-year fixed, priced it this morning. This is a 2-1 buy down, and I'll tell you what that means in a second. This is a conforming loan, so your Fannie Mae loans, purchase price $850, 5% down is $42,500. What's special about that number? Well, it's under $50,000. If someone has 5%, we can also look at 1%. But you know, your 401ks, if someone's got at least 50,000 in there, typically you can take, well, they'd probably have to have more than 50 to take 50, but typically 401k will allow you to pull out up to 50,000 for a home purchase as a loan, of course, but no taxes, no penalties. And what that helps you do is be able to buy a home. And when you pay it back through your automated or automatic, pay withdrawal, you're paying yourself back interest. You are paying interest, but you're paying yourself back. So it is the best way to use a 401k. If you're ever going to pull money out, that would be the way to do it. I have some friends that haven't contributed the maximum to their 401k. They want to buy a house. I suggested, hey, max out your 401k, take the money you were going to use for your down payment, put it into your 401k. Of course, ensure that you can then take a loan back on it. That's you got to do that due diligence to make sure, but pay it into your 401k. It's pre-tax money, so you've got a tax benefit now, and then turn around and borrow it back so that you can have a down payment. So you've kind of benefited with pre-tax money, and your down payment now is coming from your 401k that you're going to pay back yourself interest. Okay, so back to it, sorry. Down payment, $42,500, loan amount at $8,075. Start rate today at 6.99%. Principal and interest for that payment is $5,367, just principal and interest. It's a lot. How do we help someone have a little bit of cushion there, softening to get into these high payments? Well, the first year, we're going to give them 4.99%. Their principal and interest payment is going to be $4,330. That is $1,037 per month lower than what they would have paid without the buy down. Year two, it will go up 1% to 5.99. And then now their payment is $531 less than it would have been. What does that cost? $18,812. Where is that going to come from? Well, it can come from the seller. It can come from a mixture of the seller, you, anybody else they want to gift, except VA. VA is the only loan that does not allow for the borrower to pay for it, but a borrower can pay for this. Now, is it their money? Yes. Is it going to remain their money? Absolutely. It's just a way to put the money aside to help supplement their payment. They don't lose it. They still get to use the funds. If they refinance or sell before the 2 years are over, then any of the balance that's left comes back to them as a principal reduction. Now, what would be awesome is, of course, to get the seller to pay for it. In this example, the buy down subsidy was $18,812. Borrower, add it into the sales price if you want to. Maybe add $10,000 into the sales price. Have the seller pay $8,000, however we have to structure it. Let's do this, because this is a huge savings for people. I mean, to pay 4.99 even for a year is really awesome. If a buy down's not going to work, then loanDepot does offer for a 30-year fix. We will give a borrower 1% lower for the first 12 months of their payment, and we will pay for that buy down. That's not as popular right now just because where we are in the market, but the 2-1 buy down is super popular because of where we are in the market, because there's anticipation that we're going to be seeing lower rates middle to end of next year, maybe on into early 2025. Of course, the Fed's saying, oh, we're going to keep rates high for a while. Who knows what's really going to happen, but this is still a great benefit. And like I said, if they refinance or sell before that 2 years, this money comes back to them as principal reduction. The 2-1 buy down, the 2 means 2% lower than the note rate, and the 1 means 1% higher each year. Okay, it's only for 2 years. This offers financial flexibility. So let's say you've got a first-time home buyer. You'd call me, you're making an offer, you're going to negotiate to get a buy down for them. What's that going to do? This $1,000 a month that they're saving, where can they put that? Put it into your 401k. And now you've got your $1,000 savings is becoming more and more compounded interest. Working with you, and then you and I working together is going to benefit your client, not just at time of purchase and not just when they sell and they have, equity, but in the long term. That $12,000 a year can become tens of thousands of dollars when it's time for them to retire. It helps them transition from, maybe making rental payments into housing payments. It increases the affordability. Now, not to qualify. So you don't qualify the borrowers on the first 2 years rates. They still have to qualify at 6.99, but it helps them be able to afford it, at least for the first couple of years. There are other term buy downs, not just a 2-1, but this is just a quick example that I thought would be easy to understand. So temporary buy downs. You've got someone you're going to make an offer. Before you make that offer, give me a call. I'll run the numbers, tell you what the subsidy is, tell you what the benefit is, and let's see if it makes sense. It probably will. Okay, strategy number 4, become the expert. Stay hydrated. Become the expert. We've talked about this a million times, about how to position yourselves as experts in your community so that you're the go-to person when someone even thinks about real estate. They think about you. Oh, I've seen their videos. I've seen them online. I've seen all these things. Let me give them a call and see what they think. I saw a house. I kind of like it. I don't know if it's going to work, but I bet you, they'll know the answer to, is this a good time to buy? Pop-up open houses. So host a pop-up open house at a local event, festival, market. I don't ever see real estate agents. Well, I don't see lenders either. So I'm going to be doing this. But I don't ever see anybody like that at festivals. And hundreds of people go to these festivals, even to little closed markets and things like that, just downtown in your community. If a small festival's going to be in town, then buy a little pop-up tent from Walmart for $100. Put your business cards out there. I'm sure you can get a banner or something from your real estate office to advertise. Throw some pins and all this out there. We can do some property reports, flyers. We can do all sorts of cool things. I'll join you. I just want someone to give me a call and say, hey, I'm doing this. Let's go. This is something different. It's going to set you apart, and you're going to be involved in your community. So again, it's more exposure. Neighborhood ambassador program. Start a program where your local residents can become ambassadors for their own communities and neighborhoods. You can promote the area, or they will help promote the area to other potential buyers. Start a neighborhood Facebook page. Again, the whole point is to position you as the industry expert in your community or the areas that you farm. Start a neighborhood Facebook page if there's not one already. And it can be just real estate focused. I could do one for my zip code and be, real estate and 9460, whatever my zip code is. Organize a neighborhood cleanup. We got to give back as well. We're not just here trying to get business. We're trying to give back. Organize a neighborhood, a few streets, throw some flyers on, if I think you have to check, there's a do not contact list or something. I remember this about flyers. So check that, or stay in compliance, whatever you got to do. But, organize a neighborhood cleanup where you all come together and put your real estate shirt on, put your tag, your name tag on, and people will see that and always keep you in their mind that, oh, you care about this community. You're not just trying to sell the community. I thought this was a pretty cool idea. Artistic property showcasing. So of course, this is going to be for properties that are staged. You're probably not going to do this for listings where people are still actively living in the property. Collaborate with some local artists and see if they're fine with putting their artwork in the property for the listing duration period. It's going to give them exposure. It helps, of course, bring the community together. Now the potential buyers are going to know about this artist, and they're probably not going to charge you to do this. It's free, and you're just helping grow your community. Collaborate with influencers. We've talked about social media before, and I know a lot of us are like, we don't really want to do it, but we have to. I showed you the age group that came into the market in 2022, 21 or 23 years old up to 41. These people are, I'm not in that group anymore. I wish I was, but they're super into social media. We all know that. And we've got to get on board with that type of marketing and exposure. So collaborate. Even if you just do a short little video, 30-second video or something, post it. Interview interior designers, maybe even community leaders, if you can get involved in that, and ask them, what do you think is happening in this area? Or what do you see, XYZ is coming, businesses coming to town. What do you think that's going to do for home values? Maybe a new business is opening up and they're going to employ, 300 people. How are you going to take advantage of that as the realtor? Talk with your community leaders, see if you can come in and do some type of outreach. The next thing I want to say is, just because I noticed this a lot, and when it's done correctly, I'm always just a little bit more impressed. But I do see, and then again, this is just about being professional and being an expert. And when you're an expert, you've got everything's got to be high level. Email signatures, and even email usage that I see as the lender when I'm communicating with real estate agents, I see a lot of yahoo.com, outlook.com, gmail.com email extensions. And I'm always thinking, well, if I'm someone that wants to list property or even find a real estate agent, if they're, joe@joerealty.com, I'm probably going to like that a little bit better than joe@gmail.com, because that doesn't quite sound as professional, does it? So if you don't have a website, so you can't have that as your extension, use your company website. So joe@exprealty.com looks a lot more professional than joe@gmail.com. Ensure that your signature has all of your contact information on it. I have an agent, I don't know if he's on the call right now, but I texted him back a couple of weeks ago and I was like, I really like your text signature because it gives me all of your information. So I don't have to ask you what your email address is. I can just, touch the link in your signature and then boom, my email opens up. Make sure all of that is, professionally on there, your license number, cell number, fax, email, whatever. Yes, I said fax. That is a thing still. List all of your certifications and recognitions. Brag. There's no reason not to. Don't just say, thanks, Joe. And put underneath there, #1 real estate agent in this zip code or whatever it is, certifications you've got. And I'll talk about some of those next. But make sure you've got that on your signature. Anything that's going to raise you above the standard, right? The status quo. You're the expert, be at a high level. Okay. Let me just take 1 second because I wanted to, it's in here. Okay, never mind. Okay. Become certified. I skipped over that. Smart home certification, green designation with National Association of Realtors. You guys can get that done. It's relatively inexpensive. I think smart home is maybe $40 or something to take the class. Add certifications all over to your email, right? You want people to know that, especially people that are environmentally conscious, and that's huge, especially now we're dealing with climate change. You want people to know that, hey, I'm going to look for properties for you, or I'm going to list this property. I'm going to help show you how to make it more green. It's going to attract more environmentally conscious buyers. Again, maybe potentially get a higher sales price, whatever it is you've got to say, but work on some certifications, especially the ones that don't take a lot of time and don't cost a lot of money. Okay, so another strategy number 5 that I didn't put on here, but strategy number 5 is to work with me as your preferred lender. And why? Well, I've got some efficient processes, especially here at loanDepot. Things are just a lot easier and things are getting, going through the system a lot smoother than I've experienced since I've been in California, honestly. And you all know the ones of you that were with me when I was with Golden One, I loved it there. And I thought that process was efficient. But now coming to loanDepot, I'm like, wow, it's even better. We had a closing recently that I told the agent, well, it's not really possible to fund today because she just signed this morning. And guess what? We funded that afternoon and I was even shocked. I'm like, this is not normal. Normally it's the next day, but things are really efficient here. And I'm going to tell you why that is. Okay. jodyhitano.com. That's my website. Super easy to remember. If you know my name, you know my website. Give it to your clients. They can apply there. They can run calculators there. There's some information there, especially for first-time home buyers, that they can review and learn some things about the home buying process. When they do apply with me, typically you're going to get a same-day turnaround on that pre-approval. Now, if it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it may be the next morning, but for the most part, and especially if it's urgent, then I am going to stop what I'm doing and I'm going to take a look at that pre-approval. So I'll offer you same-day turnarounds even on weekends. One of the benefits with loanDepot is that I have the ability to run applications and pricing and everything on my phone. So if I'm at an event and you've got an urgent issue, maybe you're negotiating a contract for someone and the seller came back with a higher price and you need to tell the borrowers maybe some numbers, or you want me to tell them numbers, I can step aside and get that information to you quickly. Information quickly is key in this industry, right? Soft pull for credit reports. So my pre-approvals that I do, it is not a hard pull. So I'm not affecting anyone's credit score by doing the pre-approval. And it also doesn't trigger, there's no triggering for the bureaus that when there's a mortgage inquiry, then they sell that information out and then people buy leads and then your buyer is now getting bombarded. It's a constant complaint that I had in my previous places of employment. People always give a little bit of resistance when I say I have to pull your credit. We all know that that's a huge part of the application process, credit, income, and assets. Can't waive it, but I can do a soft pull for the pre-approval process. Now, if I have to flip this to FHA, and in some cases that happens, FHA, to run underwriting, you have to have a full tri-merge report. I don't expect you guys to remember that, but I'm just saying, don't be surprised if I tell you, hey, now I've got to pull credit. It's easy to apply. The average is 7 minutes to put your application in from the moment you click apply now. And that's with 2 borrowers. If you only have 1, then it can be faster. We can do digital verification of assets and income. That is nice because it could waive pay stubs and bank statements. Fast closing, 15 days. Yes, let's do it. You want to compete with all cash? Offer $10,000 more in your purchase price for a 15-day closing. Your seller's probably going to take that. We also do $1,000 back to the seller and to the buyer if we miss the closing date. On a 30-day close, not on a 15, on a 30-day close. If we miss the closing date, our fault, then we do give cash back to them. That's on a side note, but 15-day close, no problem. You have a property that needs repairs, you got an appraisal come in, subject to. Now what are you going to do? Termite damage, $10,000 worth. Seller's not going to do it probably. Buyer can't do it. They don't own the property yet. What happens? Well, either you go to non-prime lending that might give it to you with a higher rate, or what do? Flip that into a renovation loan. And it's, again, doesn't take any extra time, right? We already have an appraisal subject to, that's one of the biggest pieces of it. And now we can switch this to a renovation loan, get the property closed, borrower's happy, they get to do whatever work they want to do or need to do. Digital loan experience, I'll show you in the next slide what that is. Everything's digital now for the most part. Closings are digital, even except there's some documentation that the state of California does not allow to be digitally signed. So there's still a little bit of wet signatures involved. But as soon as my closing package goes out, borrower can start reviewing it right away, ask questions if they have questions. They're not seeing it for the first time at the closing table. You know, if you've worked with me before, and feel free to pop in a testimonial if you'd like. I'd love it. If you've worked with me before, you know, guys, I am available to you 24/7. I have put applications in at 11 o'clock at night. I had one recently, 15-day close. Well, I needed disclosures out at 8 a.m. the next morning. So we got that stuff in 11 o'clock at night. Yes, let's go. Real estate doesn't sleep and it moves quickly. And I'm here to, well, I do sleep, but I'm always working. If I've got my phone with me, then you can bet I can get you an answer that you need. I've got over 20 years of industry experience. I was a real estate agent back in Georgia for a quick little minute. I've said before, it's not my cup of tea in this industry. I don't enjoy the real estate agent aspect of it. I don't envy what you guys have to do. I mean, I don't want to do it. So, but I do have that experience, and so I know what it's like. But for the most part, it's all been mortgage. With working with me, you're going to get weekly loan updates every Friday. You're going to get an update that says exactly all of the steps that have been completed in the process, what's outstanding, and are we still on track. I've got access to an underwriting and scenario desk. Underwriting, anytime I've got questions, I can ping them and get the answer right away. I've got a scenario desk. If you've got something kind of funky and maybe another lender declined it, or you don't know how to even approach it, let me know what the scenario is, and I can usually come up with an answer. As you know, my focus is on education. I think knowledge is power. You know, to elevate yourselves in this industry, especially in this market, you've got to know things. And I want to help you with that, especially on the mortgage side, because that's where people get the most stressed out. And there's a lot to know about mortgage. So lean on me, especially new agents. I welcome new agents. I love working with you guys. I can kind of help train you what to expect, what's realistic, what's not. And don't ever hesitate to reach out to me. Feel free to read those testimonials if you want, but I'm not going to read them. But anyway, those are some testimonials from past clients. Okay, digital loan experience. So the digital loan experience is going to be pretty much everything is done electronically. The digital documentation, again, income and assets can be digitally certified. That way, borrowers not having to provide bank statements. They log into their bank account through the system. It only gives us access one time. So when they do that once, that doesn't mean I can go in there and pull bank statements or do whatever I want. It is literally just that one time, and that's it. So I've had that question. People have been concerned about that before, but it's just a one-time deal. Everything is done online, very efficient. I can screen share if someone is having a problem with the portal and they don't, maybe they're not as tech savvy and they can't figure out where to upload what. They can share their screen with me, and then I can say, oh, it's right here, click there or whatever. And that's really nice because in the past, I've had to have people screenshot and text me a picture, and it just becomes frustrating. So with where everything is going, with everything being online, there's still going to be people that are not as tech savvy, but I can help them as well. Okay. What time is it? It is. Oh.
1:20.
1:20. Okay, cool. So I went a little bit over. My apologies. Q&A. Let's see if we've got any questions. Okay. Let me pull this over here. All right. Please share those details. I want to share. Emily, I'm assuming that is for just my contact information, but if there's something else, let me know. Can you give us the Zoom link and date of the down payment assistance class? There, I don't have one set up right now. Is that what you're talking about, Audrey? A down payment assistance class with me? I can schedule another one of those. The last one I did was, I think, about a month ago. Of course, that was just for Calahafa, and there's so much more out there. So if you want me to schedule another one, yes, okay, perfect. I will. I'll get with Mike on that. Share my slides. I can't because it's internal, so I can't share them. But Emily, if there's a particular slide that you want information from, just send me a quick email and I'll get that over to you. I can't just send out the presentation, is what I'm saying. Okay. All right. Well, I don't see any other questions. So I'll leave you with this. If you're not closing at least 2 transactions a month, then you got to get out there in the market. You got to advertise. You've got to be out there in your community. Phones aren't going to magically ring right now, right? And it's probably not going to change. We're going to have to work harder than we have had to work before. So utilize me. I am here for you. I understand the market. I understand what your clients are going through, the stress of it. I'm empathetic, and I'm happy to help anyone and everybody. I don't discriminate against anything. I don't care if the loan amount's $50,000. I don't care what it is. I'm here to focus more on how many families I can help through the rest of this year and into 2024. I'm not focused on volume. I'm not focused on unit numbers. I'm focused on the number of families that I can help along with you to help grow homeownership in our communities. Thank you guys so much for your time. You've got my contact information. Use it. I'm working this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Don't hesitate to call. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you.